Good day, everyone. I'm your host, Michelle White of Community Updates 313, and my co host, Rob. What's up, Rob?
What up, though, Detroit? Happy opening day. I wish I was there to party with y'all. I miss all the opening days. I would for sure be there, especially at Chelly's right on that corner. I love a good little time over there. Had too many nights over there, but we got some good guests. I think one of the things that we have talked about a few times, especially with a lot of our guests, is having people that may have come from a institutionalized system where they're supposed to be helping you, and a lot of times we've seen the disparity in that, and they're not getting the help. But we have a couple guys that are like really pillars in the community and that are moving forward, have a business going, really are just moving the needle forward for what that looks like from somebody going from ex-con to professional. So who do we got up next?
We have Brian Rashid McCard. So Rashid, and we've got the Rez Lee Unk, the coach. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey.
How are you all this afternoon on this beautiful day?
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I see y'all both got on the Tigers gear. I see you, or I see you. Well, I'm always
it's opening
something.
Day.
Yeah.
Opening day.
I don't have on the Tiger. I got to put on the jersey.
Come on now.
There we go.
So this afternoon, Rashid is the founder and owner of Intergrate 313, and that's spelled ENTERGREAT, and it's an assisted transitioning program that helps rebuild lives with support and opportunity. They empower individuals, returning citizens, primarily with the essential skills to build resilience and independence. So Rashid, tell us about Intergrate 313 and how you started that wonderful program that you do. I've had an opportunity to come over there several times and lend support and give some things from the White Charity Foundation. Tell us about it.
First of all, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you for having me on your podcast this afternoon.
Our pleasure.
To get the word out about our program. I appreciate you. Intergrate 313, which is a play on the word integrate, as an integration. Integrate. It's a play on it. We want you to enter after doing time, enter back into society great. And the concept actually was came about when I was actually incarcerated. I knew I wanted to do a nonprofit when I came home. I knew I wanted to serve in some kind of capacity. So, when you got time on your hands, you come up with all kind of business plans and drafts and things of that nature. So it was something that a concept that I came up with while I was incarcerated, but I didn't actually come out the gate with that in mind. I came out the gate with a clothing brand called Cloud Apparel. And that was my dream to be, I thought
got some nice apparel too.
Oh,
nice
things.
You're welcome.
And I came out the gate and I thought I was going to be the next Russell Simmons or the next FUBU or some of that nature, right? But life had other plans for me, so I got married. I moved at an accelerated pace when I got home. I made some good decisions, bad decisions. I went through a life-changing event. I got divorced, which, if anybody's been married and went through divorce, they know that that's something that's, that's very horrible. It's a life-changing event. It's very, I suffered from depression, anxiety at the time. And, and then that's when Intergrate 313 came back to the surface. So I got with a good friend of mine, a comrade in the serving, Craig Wilby, who also has a nonprofit. He was doing a nonprofit thing before I actually got involved. He had two nonprofits, actually. One was Force, Friends of Returning Citizens, and the other one was Random Acts of Kindness. And I ran the idea by him, and he, come on, let's do it. He had a space at the time, and we started out with like 5 or 6 gentlemen, and then over time we just kept showing up, and what we realized was it was a need for this. I wasn't the only one who wanted to be surrounded and needed this safe space, and what we did, we created a safe space. You come in the room, you see familiar faces, the people who they've been similar situated, they've been through the same things that you've been through. And it's become a real safe haven, not only for returning citizens and those who've been injustice impacted, but also for veterans, for victims of crimes and things of that nature. They come in, even victims of crime have been participants of our meeting. So it's doing, it's a need for it. It's a need for it.
There's definitely a need. I saw that when I came over there, and you, because you also, it's a mentorship program. It's a peer group meetings that you have,
Exactly.
and the employment opportunities and information that is given when people come. And even Therese is one of the leaders in the White Charity Foundation. Therese, you're on mute. And we have come over several times and brought furniture, clothing to people. And Therese, tell us about your situation. And it's a very wonderful organization.
So listen, I was real surprised, right? Because when I think we've been there about 3 times now. I want to really delve more deep into what they're doing also, because I really think it's a great thing what they're doing over there. I really want to give those brothers applaud. Brother Rashid, what y'all doing? I did hear about it about almost a year ago, but I was still going through so much, which I'll get to in a minute. But when Ms. White told me about it, I was like, yeah, I heard about that place. So we both showed up together, and it was like 40 or 50 people there, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the time the third time I showed up, man, it's like 150, 200 people in there. And they had some faces that were so familiar I hadn't seen in 10, 15, literally 20 years, right? Since I was a small babe, as they call it, in what they call an institution. But I myself, I did 18 years of incarceration in the Michigan Department of Corrections. And similar story as Rashid, obviously growed up in Detroit on the east side and got into some trouble. So when I went to prison, I was still kind of moving like a child. But as I began to start, my mind began to change. I started to see the daylight, as you can call it, right? I started to see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. I just like, you know what, man? I keep going to the hole, fighting for the east side, fighting for Detroit, like fighting John R. and all these people that were slave owners. Like, they didn't do no purpose to me. I got them tattooed on me. What am I doing? Like, what am I doing, right? And I started to see my little girls grow up on pictures. When I left, I had 3 daughters, all 3 and under. And I started to see my little girls grow up on pictures. And that's when I realized, like, you know what? Nah, I got to change. I want to be different so that I could teach these young men to be different so that they can be different young men for my daughters, right? And so when I got out, before I got out, actually, I started speaking in the prisons and doing different programs and stuff. And lo and behold, when I got out, I just delved straight into like social media. I had a wife I met that we just grew this life, and we was making money. We had a nonprofit, and same thing, divorce, and everything just crashed. Like, it went from working with a lot of different high end and up organizations to like sleeping in my car, like that. It got that real. And so I like to tell people that programs like Integrate 313, programs like what we have with the White Charity Foundation, where we giving back to the community, helping furnish people houses, it lifts a burden off of people, because, hey man, I was out passing out furniture to people who was getting their new houses and getting their fresh start, and nobody knew that I was sleeping in my car.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so like, you know, I want to be an example and like work with these different types of programs. I don't sleep in my car no more, obviously, but
now you have a nice home with beautiful furniture.
Beautiful furniture, nice truck, everything, right? But you know, it get real. And so like, we need these programs because they are pillars in the community. They are the staple centers where people can come to for refuge, man.
So I have a question, and I guess it'd be for Rashid first. And this is coming from a very inexperienced space. But when you come out of lockup or lockdown, and I have a lot of friends that have been in that situation, and a lot of them have plans. But then it's like the money doesn't make sense if you were already making this before. And is it like the group, or because I know that can be something that's like huge, where you like, look, I need to make this, and people don't always get the same opportunity. What kept you going? And I mean, be as honest as you want to, but what kept you going in that space to go, you know what, I'm going to do something that's actually going to push the needle forward instead of pushing yourself back, kind of like Therese was saying, where that street don't owe you nothing and they won't pay you anything either. As soon as you gone, you defending that street's still going to be there. And it's probably somebody's slave master street that wanted you to think that. Like when we think about it in real terms. So, what's something that made you continue to keep going?
Are you speaking in regards to the nonprofit or just period?
Both.
Well, and I'm sure that the rest can attest to this. When you been incarcerated for such a long time, and you get out, you move on a different energy. You were moving on refined energy. It's like a new birth. You get out, and the world is brand new to you. I served 28 years within the Michigan Department of Corrections for a crime I committed when I was 18 years old. So, and I was released in 2016. And so, you have all these aspirations and hopes and dreams while you incarcerated, and then you let out. So you want to try and fulfill them as much as you can. And that's what kind of mission I was on. In regards to the clothing brand, I had already all these ideas and concepts, like I said already, I had them already formulated in my mind, and some of them on paper before I even came home. I used to draw pictures. I knew when I was about to come home, I knew that, I was in the process. I got what was called a public hearing. So once you granted a public hearing, I actually was serving a parolable life sentence. And the only way you could get out was first through a public hearing. And if they granted you a public hearing, you knew you were on your way. Because other than that, they slid what's called a 5-year flop under your door, and you continue to another 5 years before you were eligible to see the parole board again. So I had received about 2 or 3 of those. And then on the third time, I received a public hearing. So I was like, yeah, I'm on my way. So I need to come up with some kind of plan as far as when I touch down, what I want to do. And before I left, I was involved in the 80s with the drug gang. So I was, even though I was illegal, I was an entrepreneur. So I had an entrepreneur spirit. And when we back in the day, when we get the money, what would we do? Go visit Northland, go get fresh, go get fly. So the clothing came to my mind. That was something that, and I used to, see Russell Simmons and FUBU, Damon Dash and all them. So I, clothing. So I used to sit and draw pictures on the back of, call outs. When we had call outs, they slide them under your door and tell you where you got to go. I just sit at the desk and draw T-shirts and put different designs on, and I would ask guys, would you rock this when yeah, I like that, yeah, that's nice. So when I got home, I went right to work with it. I had a partner, he already wanted to start a clothing brand. I told him what I had on paper and my hopes and dreams and aspirations, and he fed right off into it. He invested like $2,000 initially to get me started, and I hit the ground running with it. But that's,
so it's called Clout Unlimited.
It's Clout Unlimited, not. It was originally Clout Apparel.
How did you come up with Clout? Because just the name Clout.
Just the name Clout. I just sat there and I thought of just ideas, and that just stuck, and it just resonated. And I came home and it just kept growing and growing and growing. Even though I'm not nationwide, I have built a little following within the city. On the west side, on the east side, I had something. People rocking it in Atlanta in a store. They had a store out in Atlanta that had my product on the shelves. I was on the shelves of Strictly's.
Strictly
Sportswear on 7
They used
Mile.
to give us stuff, and I would give it out to the community. And the
shout out to Kathy. Shout out to Kathy. She put me in there. My man Fame on 313. I've been in his store up on Livernois. I was on Simply Casual up on Livernois. Everything Detroit on Grand River before she closed her doors. So I've been in, I built a little momentum, because that's how, when you get out, you moving on that refined energy. You've been captured. You've been trapped so long. So when they let you go, you just on go. And that's what I was doing. I was on go. Until, like the brother said, I took that crash with that divorce. I jumped immediately into a relationship when I got out, which I wasn't prepared for. And I was in my relationship failed in great lengths because of me. I know it's because of me. We both weren't ready, but I take responsibility for my side of it. And it sent me into a downward spiral. And so when the thing that got me back on track was the familiarity with the guys that I knew from when I was locked up. So I brought them into the room, and that's how Integrate 313 was born. We came there every week, and the more people just started finding out that we was meeting, And they came because, like the brother Therese said, he seen some faces up in there when he came in there he hadn't seen for years. So it's a familiar space, and people when they come in there, oh man, and other people are dealing with stuff, dealing with life struggles, right. and they need to hear these stories. People getting out, they need to hear these stories. Just like Therese was saying, I was sleeping in my workspace for a while, just like he was sleeping in this car, and people didn't know this. You know what I'm saying? And people need to know this because to be encouraged, to stay encouraged, because your story may be the determining factor to get somebody through the storm that they're going through.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying that I have a story too. Briefly, I was homeless for 4 years, living in a shelter. Wow. And but you can't tell that now. But that's why that's how God opened the door for me to do what we do with the White Charity Foundation. Because when people come out of whatever their situation is, to take the burden off their mind to get furniture, bed, clothing, couch, cups, plates, that takes a burden off your mind. Right. And so that's what the White Charity Foundation does. And Therese works with that. But Therese, you also even have some other organizations and things that you do.
Listen, so I wanted to kind of like touch on the question that he asked. I don't know if it sounded like he was getting ready to say something before you started speaking, though. So
I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish.
Oh, no. So my question was going to be for you, Therese. Because, and you're a little bit younger too, right? Because we're the same age. Yeah, you're right. 44. 44. So for you, was that the same situation? It was like, hey, I was just motivated. I kind of pushed through, and I had the mindset. Like, what was your experience with that?
So for me, I knew, right? I went back to school. So thank God, right? In 2016, it was like, he'd tell you, it was like the word of the West. Oh, they got college back in prison because this is a privilege. And almost at least 60% of the states across America, there's no further education, school, this and that. But there are in some places. Michigan was one that they had took the college education out of in 1982. I studied this. I wasn't in prison back then. I was born in 1982, but I know that. And they took some courses out. Then in the 90s, they really shut it down. So you couldn't even get an education for about 12, 13 years or better. Then when they started letting you get college through the mail, that was something, but it wasn't real, right? So in 2016, they said, hey, Jackson College has volunteered to be a pilot program for the MDOC where students could come from all over the state and you can get associates and work towards your bachelor's. And I was like, huh? Free?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sign me up.
Wayne County Community College did too.
And so what happened was I had started speaking and talking to the youth and mentoring, and I started noticing I wasn't little homie no more. They started calling me Big Unc, and I was getting mad. I ain't no uncle, man. What's wrong with you, bro? Because back in my day, for anybody that's listening in the comments, back in my era, right? You know, I'm of a particular age. I ain't 60, but I ain't 20. I'm in the middle. Now, Unc was like a negative terminology. That was kind of like, you know, a drug addict or something. And I didn't want to be termed
oh, really?
The little guy was like, no, listen, man, I'm saying it out of respect. I'm saying like Big Unc, like you like the Unc of the hood, like you like an uncle. So I took reverence to it, right? And that's just been what it's been since I got out here. So now, like the brother said, getting out here, I jumped into a relationship 2-3 years before I got out of prison. I did 18 years. Shouldn't have done that. Because I done that, I probably should have said this before. It caused me after my divorce to go back and become a certified life coach and a certified relationship coach. So I went back and got those under my belt because I said, you know what? I want to teach people about this. Now I know I ain't got a whole bunch of experience with a lot of women, but like this getting out of prison and jumping straight into a marriage thing ain't the way to go.
No,
it ain't the way to go, man. I'm trying to tell you. And so,
you know, I try to tell people, come back to that, Therese. I try to tell all the brothers when they come out, because I serve in Macomb Prison and Huron Valley Women's Prison. And one of the guys, and I work at Wayne County Community College District, so I help people get into school and you can get grants. And one of the guys we were helping, he had just got out of prison and we helped him get, you know, he was going to class. Main thing is, I told him, don't be careful when you get with these women because it'll mess you up, and it can mess you up. And they're tricked, it's tricks. And he was graduating in June, and the young lady he was talking to had a boyfriend that she didn't tell him about, and the boyfriend killed him in May, 2 months before he was graduating. We had helped him get his own place. He had started his business, had good clients, had him on TV and everything, and life gone because he got with some woman too quickly.
Yeah. I think it's just important to, whether you were incarcerated or not, because I've gone through that. And I think one of the things that I failed at was I didn't have a plan. Like I was still trying to figure me out. And I think it's just really hard to, and then because then as men, we want respect. And so it's hard for somebody to respect something that you haven't navigated through yet. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, brother, I get you. You want me to respect your street credibility. You want me to respect that you can punch somebody, but you also want me to now respect that you're going to lead my life. And you also want me to submit to your leadership, and you're not leading nobody. Nobody wants to follow you. And the people that are and the people that are following you are idiots, socially speaking. You know what I mean? Like they're not doing anything that's going to push your life forward. And that moment for me was like, oh, I got to get different friends, because my friends, I can't be the sum of all of them, because now I lost. So my friends have to be better than me. It feels good to know everything better than your friends, but then how much do you really know? So as men, it's like, you know what I mean? There's no advancement. So I always have to be learning. So that means everybody in my circle, and it kind of knocks your ego a little bit. But to me, I love the Bible for principles, because the humility is not really just to humble yourself, but it teaches you something, because you're like, oh shoot, there is another level that I need to get to. Yes. And people say it like, hey, it's levels to this. And I mean, it really is. When I think I'm good, then I go talk to my buddies that have a golf course in the back of their house, and I go, oh, I'm not there yet? Okay. All right. Right. And then I meet the guy who's like, oh, no. I can just make a call and you can go everywhere. And it sounds good because we can do that to some degree, especially when like when you're in Detroit, it's a little smaller. You can make a call. I used to be able to do that. But then it's a difference to go, no, you're going to be in the box. And if you want to get on the stage, you can do that too. There's levels to this thing that we like to call respect or, power within, especially within the Black community. And I think a lot of times we look at the submission that we want from women without giving them something to actually follow or submit to. And I think that is a lesson that we have to learn for that next phase. And it's just hard to lead a family with street cred only.
Exactly.
So tell us, Therese, go ahead and finish sharing what you were going to say. And then Rashid, this segment, I want to really highlight Integrate 313 and all the things that you all are doing at that program. But Therese, go ahead and finish what you're saying. And then Rashid, please tell us more about Integrate 313.
Okay. No, I'm just in agreement with what Robert just said. It just resonated because all this week on my podcast, where I do live content across these different platforms, I've been talking about how a master must leave his footprints clearly cut, right? Like you can't just be a sign to say, hey, turn left or turn right, because we really don't know which way to go, right? But if you see those footprints, that imprint of what has been left there, that example, then you know, okay, that's the way to go. And so just piggyback on it. I like that.
Yeah.
Each of you said some profound things. Okay, Brother Rashid, tell us more about Integrate 313, please.
Yes, sir.
Well, Integrate 313, you've actually been to the Integrate 313 portion of our program, which is the Tuesday support group meetings held at the Horatio Williams Foundation on every Tuesday from 6 to 7, roughly 7:30. But it says 7:30 on the flyer, but we always run over to 8 o'clock. No one wants to leave. Even when the meeting is over with, we're still in the hallways talking, chopping up. It's just, that's what kind of energy.
It's community.
Right, it's community. And that's what kind of energy it is in there. But you attended those meetings on Tuesday, but we also work hand in hand with another foundation, which I spoke on briefly, which is RACS, Random Acts of Kindness, which is the founder is Craig Wilby, who's not here today. He's supposed to have been here, but unfortunately he couldn't be here. But anyway, we collaborated and we work hand in hand. And the president of our organization, Integrate 313, is Miss Alicia Hatcher, who's doing a wonderful job in that seat. I put her there. She's highly qualified. And my thing about it is that, and this is my philosophy, we are uniquely qualified to do the work that we're doing because of what we've been through. We are changing the landscape of reentry. That's our mission, to change the landscape of reentry. Because no one else understands what's needed in that capacity more than one of us who's
Been through it.
walked that journey, of course,
Mhm.
exactly. Just like when you are in treatment, for substance abuse, it comes more impactful when you have somebody who's also been through that journey of treatment, of recovery. So it's the same principle at Integrate 313 at the support group meetings. But we work hand in hand with RAC, who also has some wonderful programming on Thursday nights as well. We have spiritual guidance on spiritual, and we're not talking religious. We just talking about spiritual, mind, body, and soul. We have mental programming as far as Tuesday night is for support group, and it's one component to your mental health. It's just one component. And if you feel that you need more intense therapy, we can provide that through another company that provides mental health services, family transition services. We also have digital literacy programming on Thursday nights as well. We have financial literacy last night, and it's just a powerful program. And the thing that which makes it so powerful is that it's a group of individuals who were formerly incarcerated, who came together and took their own mental health in their own hands. Not the government, not the state, not the federal government, but we took it in our own hands. And we want to lead, and the goal is to pave a brighter way for those coming after us. And that's what we do at Integrate 313.
So you have financial classes because people need to learn how to navigate their finances once they receive them. Because if anybody has ever been on drugs, sometimes finances were a trigger. Exactly. And it doesn't matter what, because drugs are even had in the prisons.
Exactly.
So people have to make a decision that I don't want to live that life any longer. And then Integrate 313, because you're a great community of people, come on, hey brother, come on, hey sister, because it's not just men. Integrate 313 has men and women. And sometimes even their children are in there just because mommy couldn't find a babysitter and needed to, and that child can encourage that parent as well.
Exactly. Exactly.
You all are doing a wonderful job. And the digital program that you have, so you're teaching people how to navigate both computers, their phones, which now when we buy our phones, I remember when I first bought my first iPhone and I felt like I had been robbed at the cost. And the man said, I felt like I'd been robbed. And the man said, well, ma'am, it's not really just a phone, it's a computer. And it's so true, because rarely, I don't come on I'm on my computer every day, but I use my phone more often. So you all are teaching people how to navigate computers, technology on their phones as well as laptops, or what are you all doing in your digital program?
Actually, we just gave away, Rex just actually gave away a bunch of Chromebooks that were donated to the organization.
Okay.
One of the biggest hurdles that we found from doing this work is that, of course, we know that people, when they come home, they need housing and employment, of course, shelter and food, employment. But one of the biggest hurdles is the digital literacy, the working of the phone. And like you said, that's a computer in your hand. So that's a big obstacle. And in this day and age, your phone is like you lost without it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what we try to teach people, even emails. The simplest things that people take for granted to a person who's been gone for decades is like a big obstacle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we take that for granted because every day we just go on there and push, take our fingers back. But someone coming out, even in the meeting, at times it's people, we announce, please turn your phones off so they don't be, guys, do not, it may be funny to us or to us right now sitting here talking about it, but they don't even know how to turn their phones down and put them on silent. This is very important that they learn this when they come home, So
you all are teaching that. You all are teaching that because that is very important. And how are you coming? I know when I've come, you all have a board where people will put up their housing, because one of the big thing in their job employment opportunities, because people can get discouraged. And
Exactly.
if they don't, it's not that nobody owes you anything when you come home. You have to, as you said, take the responsibility for yourself to find out where the organizations are, find out how to get connected with the people that are there to help you. Because mom and them might not help you, auntie and them might not help you, but there are organizations like Integrate 313 that will help you, like RAC program and what it called a Michigan Rehabilitation Center and other organizations that are out there to help, like the White Charity Foundation. When you need furniture, that we supply that and some clothing as well. But and one thing that I saw and see with the Integrate 313, you really are helping their mental stability because it just gives them that safe space to even vent. Sometimes people come in there to vent what they're being challenged with. And what I saw, I remember a gentleman one time that was venting, but everyone knew that he was just venting. And so they surrounded him with love and hugged him. Sometimes it doesn't matter you're a man. We had a segment one time about do men cry? And it's okay to cry. Sometimes you need to let it out and need to let it out even with another brother and have a good hug. Because life ain't no joke. It's hard out here for a pimp when you try to get money.
Can I say something to that? So two things to that. Learning about there's just so many things where we, especially within the urban or the Black community, especially as men, we have this stigma about like letting out any type of emotion that's not positive. I mean, or sometimes it's too positive. Oh man, you won't go into school, blank, 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 blank. It's like, wait a minute, like those things are taken negatively. And when you cry, I mean, there's a reason why men die faster than women. It's stress related, right? And when you don't release those things, such as tears, right? Cortisol kicks in, it's stress levels. Guess what you do?
Exactly.
Now we got high blood pressure. Now we got diabetes. It's not just about the food. Yeah, the food adds to it, but it's the amount of stress, the mental things that you don't take a clock to. Your mind may forget it, but your body doesn't. It clocks everything that you do. That's the first thing. And then my second thing is too, when you guys talking about like helping yourself, the phrase that I didn't like when I was younger was people help those who help themselves, because it didn't make too much sense. Because I was like, well, if you see me in need, then you should want to help. But then being the person that has helped a lot of people, I go, well, you don't even appreciate it because you didn't work for it yet. There's nothing within your work ethic that's going to get you in position. It's the same way it is with working out. And I had a partner, and we had a big gym in the city some time ago, and it's still going on. Shout out to John Smith with Grind Time. But one of the things that we saw, we always talked to the people, and we could tell the people that were like, oh, they're going to get the weight off, because we could see it in their movements. Everybody else came with excuses, and they would go, oh, well, I mean, you want to get the picture where you got the flat waist and the big butt, or you want to get the one where you got the V, down your, so you can wear the no shirt, but then you don't want to control your fork. So it's like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, you could work all day. You're just going to be fat with muscle. But if you don't, or you could be, really, really, really toned and ripped, but you're still going to be skinny because you don't eat the same way. So there's a certain level of discipline that other disciplined people attach to. And they go, oh, I can see the same thing in you. So now I want to help you. There's a reason why rich people get stuff for free, because they know, oh, it's not just coming with this one thing I'm giving them. That's going to come with communication. That's going to come with an open door. That's going to come with all the things that they had to have discipline to get. And so I always like to tell anybody, hey, people will help people that are helping themselves, because you can see their discipline and their work ethic and their diligence towards something. People come to me now for doing DJing and KJing, and I had no desire to do it. Not one. I tried to give it away to like 4 or 5 different people, but I also didn't want to be bad because I'm competitive. So I was like, well, how do I become the best? So I sat behind all these people, and now 6 months later, people are calling me that didn't want to talk to me before about it, are going, hey, how do I get you a part of my venue? You don't even have to do it. You can just do a pop-up. They want me just to come pop up at their place. And I don't have to reach out to them anymore, because I did the groundwork, and I'm still doing the groundwork to become better. So
and he's going to pop up in Detroit. He's gonna
Yeah.
pop up in Detroit, Therese. You got to get with him. He'll be here
that's
this
the goal.
summer.
But we can talk about
Okay.
that
Hey.
too. But
Let's
this
do
isn't
it.
really about me. This is more so. I'm just saying, in these situations, work ethic, diligence, and grit, and just putting your best foot forward. Stick to itiveness. It definitely works.
And you can't come out and get with a woman and live off of a woman. That's not being a man.
Awesome.
And Therese, we've seen some of our guys that come out, and you can kind of tell who's going to make it. And you want everybody to make it. You want everybody to do well, but everybody doesn't. And I never want to see anybody go back into prison. And only there before the grace of God go, I thank you, Lord. I certainly have done things deserving of being incarcerated. So, Rashid, we're glad that Integrate 313 is here and doing so wonderfully for so many people. About how many people do you have come in there weekly?
I think on a weekly basis, on the small end, we average from anywhere from like 50 to 60 people weekly at the Integrate 313 meetings. And we have, like he said, he came in the room, and one day we was like almost 100. So it's definitely a need for it. And I want to just elaborate on what Rob was saying as far as stigma. He said the word stigma, and in our community, and as well as the incarcerated community as well, the return and justice impacted community, the stigma is attached to mental health. We get it confused, mental illness confused with mental health, which are two totally different concepts. And Black men especially have that. White people have gone to therapists for years. It's part of their makeup. And it's nothing frowned upon. In our community, if you go to therapists, you crazy at one. But the stigma is leaving now.
Good.
It's getting detached from us. But we still need to erase that stigma attached to mental health awareness and mental illness. And there's a lot of people that come out of prison that have a lot of unaddressed trauma that needs to be addressed, and they don't know how to address it. Some of it is just, they don't even know they have issues. You'd be surprised, a lot of people don't even think that they have issues. And you serve 20, 30, 40 years behind bars, how can you not have issues in something that's unnatural? You weren't meant to be in a cage. You weren't meant to be confined. So it's going to be
nobody's meant to be in a cage. Animals are the only thing that's supposed to be in a cage. And even they weren't really meant to be in a cage.
Exactly.
They were meant to be run free.
And it's going to be some collateral damage from that situation. And it's nothing wrong. You just have to put some acceptance on that and take responsibility for it. That's what all the mental health is about. Whatever, whatever makes you, if reading is that safe spot, working out, whatever it is that, that releases that stress. And living in the city of Detroit is very stressful, very stressful, and unemployment is poverty, unemployment. We got mental illness running rampant. So it's very stressful in the city of Detroit.
So don't you think it's gotten better though? And how are you all directing people to mental health facilities or agencies to get the assistance that they need?
Well, like I spoke on previously, we are connected with Family Transition Services, which is a unit of therapists. They come in on Thursday nights, and they hold the mental health aspect of the GIL program. The GIL program stands for Justice Impacted Living and Learning, and that's the acronym for the program that's on Thursday nights. And they come in. If you need more intense therapy, you can get it there. They take your insurance, whatever insurance you have, you can hook right up with them, and you can get
when people need IDs. I know somebody needs ID. I told them to go over to Crossroads. They've been out of prison for a little bit. Right. So Crossroads, I believe, still is helping people get their ID.
They are.
And so there are challenges, but one of the things that people have to do when they are returning is get connected with the community, like Integrate 313 and all the agencies that they're connected with, so that you don't feel that you're out here alone, so that you do know that there's a community of people that understand where you are because they've been there, still going through it, but helping one another, growing stronger together.
Definitely.
Together, we
Definitely.
make the difference.
And that community, you just spoke on that, and that's it. That room is so full of, just like you. You part of our network. If
I
anybody
love
needs
it.
some furniture, we calling you.
I love it.
Need you,
We
sister.
got 4 people. We filling up tomorrow.
So
with
we
furniture.
have therapists, we have people provide furniture, we have people provide job opportunity, we have people provide clothing, food, bus cards. You can find, majority of the time you can find what you need in that room. But it's all about, like you said, getting in the room. You have to get in the room. I've invited numerous of people that I was incarcerated with that I know need to be in that room. But like the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can't make them drink it.
So tell us, Rashid, tell us again, what night should they come? Where are you located? What times are you there? Tell us the different days and the times, and what website. Tell us about your website that they need to go through and find out all this information.
Okay, you can find where we're located and all the information regarding RACS and Integrate 313 on our website, which is integrate313.org. And every Tuesday night, we have support group meetings from 6 to 7:30. They run over, like I said. But that's the support group meeting portion of it, where we come in, we open up the floor for discussion. We allow anybody, we come in, and we celebrate. And when I say celebrate each other, I don't mean we celebrate each other. A lot of times, the court these guys sentenced us to a sentence. Once that sentence is over with, our lives we starting over from scratch. So a lot of times when we come out of prison, we don't get celebrated. We don't, we need to take the time to celebrate the accomplishments that you make. When you get off parole, celebrate that. When you get married, celebrate that. We need to celebrate one another, and that keeps us encouraged. So once again, you can find that's what we do in the room. We're not celebrating anybody's past. We celebrating the future. So
and it's very organized. You guys are very organized.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's Integrate, ENTERGREAT.org. Is that correct?
Integrate 313.
ENTERGREAT 313.org. Go there. Look at all the programs and services that are being offered. If you're watching this podcast today, share that information with someone else, especially if you're in the 313 area or the surrounding area of 313. Share the information. You might have somebody in your home right now that's a returning citizen, and you're trying to help them as best you know how. But there's some things that, there's some things that you need to be in a community where people can understand and you can share things because they've been where you've been. And that's also applies if you were a drug addict. You need to be in a community where you can go and talk with people that will understand where you've been. You can't always hear. And see, you can hide stuff. You can hide stuff and act like everything is okay, but it's up here. You got to get that mind right.
Definitely.
Can't just hide it in the background, because eventually it's going to come back to the foreground. So you got to get it connected and corrected all the way around our mind. And Integrate 313 is one of the agencies that is helping people to do that. So if you're watching this podcast and you got somebody in your house that's a returning citizen, send them over there. They meet on what night?
We meet on Tuesday night from 6 to 7:30 at the Rachel Williams Foundation, which is located at 1010 Anterton on the Detroit, right around from the Eastern Market. Off of Russell.
That 1010, I could never spell that word. It's ANTIETAM. I had trouble pronouncing it just like you, so but I can spell it ANTIETAM. And we there, and also on Thursday nights. Let's not forget Thursday nights. Even though Tuesday nights are phenomenal, we had the biggest crowd on Tuesday nights, but Thursday nights last night we had a great meeting. We had financial literacy. We had a surprise. One of our members, one of the brothers that's associated with us, brought in some young people from another program that he works with. He usually can't get there on Tuesday night because he works, but he did a field trip and he brought these young people in. And the brothers that was there in that room, they connected with the young people, and it was phenomenal. And afterwards, we had a circle of men, and we talked and we built. So Thursday nights are phenomenal, just as phenomenal as Tuesday nights. And we need to get people in there on Thursday nights as well for the digital literacy, the mental health. If you need any more, it's Tuesday nights is more of a big gathering, but
Thursdays is more of an intimate setting. So if you need more mental health, you feel like you need this more mental health stability, come on in on Thursday night. And you don't have to have everybody. Let it be known. Look, I just need to talk to somebody. And we there for you. Whatever you need, we there for you.
And you even have different people. Maybe there are people that are listening that have organizations themselves this might be the community of people that you want to have be a part of your organization, or something that you can provide for the community that comes into Integrate 313. Connect with Rashid. Come to one of the Thursday night open forum, and they allow you to share. And it's very organized, and it's just a wonderful energy, great energy. Therese, we got a couple of minutes, guys. So Therese, I want you to. Oh, we can hear you well.
I want to say something before you leave, though. No, go ahead. I'll let you speak.
Therese, go ahead. We want to hear. Therese has an awesome podcast and all kind of things that he is doing. He is Unc the coach and does what do you call it? Dating, gives advice on.
So what I do is I stream and I post content on Facebook. I post content on Instagram and TikTok. My biggest following is on TikTok. That's why I do my live stream daily. Daily content, right? Where we talk about daily topics, current events,
relationship coach,
right? And I coach life and relationships. So I have my crowd is from about 18 all the way to 50 something. I have in my lives, and my supporters, as I like to call them, because they support what we do. A lot of the times, the funds and finance that I get to do some of the stuff that I do to give back to the community come from them. So they're a big part of what I do. Also, I do home improvement work. So that's kind of what I do on the side. So I like to kind of tell people that I've been home 4.5 years and I have not punched a clock. Now,
and you do excellent. Let me say this brother does excellent home improvement work. His work ethic is phenomenal. His energy is phenomenal. He is the head leader at White Charity Foundation, and I so appreciate this brother. He goes in and he is just, yes, hats off to you, my brother. I'm sorry, go ahead.
She know she had to do it for me, y'all, because she know I'm humble. But I'm just forever grateful to even get a chance and opportunity to work with a program. When I first worked with Ms. White, it really was like volunteer for me, right? And I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to feel good about something that I was doing. But when I walked in those homes and I seen those little kids and those babies, and heard the stories of the mothers who went through domestic violence, almost lost their life, and like just saw that those children were just ecstatic, man, and they really truly were grateful to have a bed to sleep in, to have a cover that was clean to put over them or whatever, right? And that right there just changed my whole outlook, because I'm already a humanitarian. So I was like, you know what? I'm stuck with this program. She gonna have to shoot me off to the moon.
He's gonna be the chief guy. He already is.
Their work is important, doing.
In Detroit, I just want to say, please tap in, man, with these programs. Integrate 313. I know it's just about Detroit, but you got people that's coming to Detroit, that's reintegrating back from other states, that's reintegrating from what we call the dismal crisp, but you guys may call it prison incarceration. One thing I did that solidified.
Guys, we got 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute. Well, just tap in with these programs. Tap in with the White Charity Foundation program if you need furniture, anybody in need. And I appreciate you having me on this podcast, Ms. White.
And Rashid, you wanted to say something real quick, and then I want to tell people 3 things that you love about Detroit. Rashid, tell us what you wanted to say real quick.
Okay, let me just say this. I want to just say that everything that we do comes directly out of our pocket. We don't get any funding from any sources, and we are in desperate need.
Give today. Go to whitecharityfoundation.com. Go to Integrate 313.
Yeah, you can go right on the website, and you can
make a donation.
You can make a donation right on the website. It's right there.
Please, much obliged, and we appreciate you guys.
Tell us something you like. Tell somebody that's listening from somewhere else. Where do you go in Detroit? What's a fun place?
Of course, we always got Belle Isle. We got Belle Isle. That's a legendary spot. We got that.
Oh, we got 10 minutes. It's on the 50. I'm sorry, we got
Okay.
10 minutes.
I thought we had a little bit more time.
You're trying to
I'm
get
not
rid
the
of us. What you
producer.
trying to get rid of us?
I'm not the producer. But yes, we want people to, we need your, we need your support as well. Maybe you're not the one that's going to come to the meeting. Maybe you're not just the one that is in need of furniture. But if you have furniture that you want to donate, we'll come pick it up and give it to someone the same day we pick it up. If you know somebody that's incarcerated or coming home or already home, connect them with Integrate 313. But go to, maybe that's not your judge. We all have a responsibility to help out here. So even if you help financially, that is huge. Go to integrate313.org and you can make a donation right online. Go to White Charity Foundation, and White is spelled WYTE, charityfoundation.com. White, WYTE, charityfoundation.com, and you can make a donation right there. Therese,
Tax
what's
deductible.
your
Tax deductible
tax
donations.
deductible donations? Even when you get furniture, we are a nonprofit organization. Everything is tax deductible for you. And we give you a tax deductible receipt. And when you make a donation, your receipt comes to you immediately on both of our websites.
Definitely.
So you're able to get your money back.
Definitely.
Therese, you need support even for your relationship coaching and the things that you're doing. Where do they go?
So you can go to Unc the Coach on TikTok, on YouTube, or on Facebook. I'm Therese Lee Eel on Facebook, but I'm Unc the Coach. That's my sub caption name. So I'm tied in. All three of my apps is pretty much tied in together. You can catch me from like 9:30 to 11 in the morning, and from like 7:30 to 9:30 at night, PM Eastern time, man, and AM Eastern time. And we do live daily topics and talk about relationships. And just talk about how to get the mindsets of the youth in a direction of positivity and try to get them flowing back in the direction and bring back the love to the community. I think, we lost that love and we lost that zeal for one another as a community. And I think that's very important to mention at this time, because we're here on Community Update 313, right?
That's
and
right.
So we want to update and uplift our community.
Definitely.
And we can only do that by working together. So we want to bring these organizations like Integrate 313. You heard the acronym, man. We want you to enter back into society great. So as you come home, you ain't got to worry about no resources. Hey man, where I'm gonna find a job, or how I'm gonna get some support. Them brothers down there got 5-6 different resources and programs and things, even more that they offering. We got furniture programs. So it's really no excuse for a person to come out here and think that they don't have the resources. We need y'all, the people that's watching. We need the people that we're going to share this and stream this with after, to reach back and give, whether it's monetarily, whether it's coming out and lending a hand physically, whatever you can do, man, to be involved in the community work. That's all we're trying to do, is serve.
That's right.
That's it.
Thanks.
And because we have a few more minutes, I want to go back to the mental challenges. What are some of the mental challenges that people are experiencing? We've got about 7 or 8 minutes. What are some of the mental challenges? As you sit down with people, I know that one of them is just trying to figure out, what am I going to do? Where am I going to work? Where am I going to live? I had that same challenge just after having been homeless. What am I going to do? Where am I going to work? How am I going to live? And I was 40 something. And God told me, don't look to the right nor to the left. I got you. You just keep your eyes on me. I got you. But yes, there were agencies and people that helped me and gave me things. Thus, that started with the White Foundation. But so what are some of the things that you see people are challenged with that you all are able to talk about and help them to navigate through?
Well, our concept, our philosophy is that there can be no reentry without a mental health component. Like I just said, a lot of people come home with unresolved trauma. In fact, when you go in, before you even go in, you probably have some issues, that dysfunctional family, substance abuse, in the family or whatever. And then you go and add on incarceration onto that, and then you released. And often there's no therapist in there. I mean, they'll give you therapists, but they'll shoot you up with, give you pills and medication, but it's not the therapy that you need to, as you would get on the other side of the fence once you
So prisons are not really they don't really rehabilitate you.
No. No.
They just hold you.
Exactly.
And they get money for holding you, but that's a whole nother conversation.
It's a business.
Exactly.
That's a whole
It's a
nother topic
business.
that we could talk about another time.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because
Exactly.
we'll be here all day.
Exactly.
They definitely
But
do not correct you as their name is turned. The Department of Corrections it should be Department of Stagnation. That's what it should be called.
And even
Right.
the educational programs that some people are able to get into the educational programs, but some people are not. Some people can't get the paperwork that they need to be able to go to or even get the type of jobs that might pay a little more than a few cents. Some people aren't able to get those things. I don't know how they determine who gets what. You all could share that better, but you know, all the services that are even provided in the correctional facilities aren't given to everyone.
Well, so unfortunately, and this is going to be the harsh truth, they go by how much time you got. So
Yeah.
usually, you know, the programs that's directed to have people be successful when they get out from incarceration, they're going to be offered to people who they think is coming home. So if a guy doing, you know, a particular amount of time will have letters and no numbers where he's like expected to do the rest of his natural life in there, then, you know, some of the
What
programs.
does that mean? Letters and no
qualify.
numbers. What does that mean? Letters and
Life.
no numbers.
Life, not going home, don't have a chance of ever going to see the streets again. And
Mhm.
so I guess their logic is, why give a person education or spend the taxpayers' dollars on a person that's never going to set foot in society to utilize the degree or whatever the case may be, right? It's unfair. But a lot of times, like you say, just depending on the criteria, you may or may not get a chance. But I wanted to say one thing before we end, one thing about, because you asked, like, as far as coming back into society, what are some of the things that's very, very, very important, right? You said one of the things you notice, a lot of people just be like, what do I do, right? I'm saying from my perspective, from coming from in there, I knew I needed a plan. I know I needed resources and I needed a plan. So what I started to do was connect with the different organizations and things I had heard of that was coming up to the prison. Because listen, man, let's keep it. We ain't gonna act like there's no, it's brothers and sisters not reaching back and forth in there, right? But you got to put your name on that call out to go over to that gym and hear them people speak when they come in and hear about the resources they got for you when you get out here. You can't be thinking about playing poker and sitting up playing basketball and want to watch TV all day. So it's about who you are and how you maneuver and, you know, your mindset. But for me,
definitely.
I did what was called a parole reintegration plan. It was about 30 pages thick. It outlined in detail not only my change of mindset, but my change of environment, because you can't have one without the other. If you think you're going to keep the same mindset but go back to a different environment, you're just going to take the same problem to some other place. If you think you're going to keep the same environment but keep a different mindset, then you run the risk of the opportunity of you falling back into the same traps and pitfalls that you did before. So I just want to tell people, man, plan. Don't wait. I mean, keep talking about like guys used to do out the workout. Now I'm gonna get in shape and stuff, man. I got about a year left, man. I'm gonna wait till I get down to the now.
And they should write the plan out.
5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Build your credit now. Find somebody that's gonna get you a secure credit card and start building your credit then. 5 years while you was in there. So when you come out here, you just need the credit imprint. You already got the history. You see what I'm saying? You have to start. It's preparation, man. That's it.
Definitely.
I believe
you definitely on point, because I always tell guys, this is what I always tell them: have a plan. Have a plan. I don't care if it's a piece of plan. Having a piece of plan is better than having no plan, because you can always improvise and build on that plan, make changes in the plan. But if you don't have nothing, you just out here moving aimlessly. And that's what I think that people need more than anything when they get up in the morning, is a purpose. I think you got to have, and you asked earlier, I had a purpose. When you have a purpose, something in your life to get up for, it makes a big difference. When you just waking up and you don't know, you just here. I'm just starting my day. I'm just here. You had to have a purpose and a plan.
So guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Community Update 313. We're so glad to have you. We're going to have you back again. Thank you so much. Bless you.
Our
Have a
pleasure.
wonderful day.
Bless
You
you
too.
too. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Salute.
Don't leave. Hey, Rob.
Hey, I'm closing it off now.
Well, they're all here.
They say we still alive.
Yeah, it does say that.